What's going on, everybody? This is your boy XQ420. Want to welcome everybody back to another episode, Showtime with the Cube. I've got my co-host with me, Corey Hughes. I got that right the first time, Corey. How you doing?
I'm good, man. Thanks.
All right. If it's your first time to the channel, don't hesitate. Hit that subscribe button. If you follow us on podcast platforms, hit that follow button there. We appreciate everybody's support. So, Corey, we're going to get back into another travesty that is. Another episode that's a travesty, She-Hulk. Okay? Episode number 7, and this is titled The Retreat. Okay? The Retreat. Now, Corey, is before we just dive into the episode, was there anything that redeemed or has redeemed this particular season in this episode? Did you find anything that you can say right out the gate that has redeemed any part of this particular series?
No, not in the fucking least. And if you'll remember the last episode review of She-Hulk we did, we basically both kind of agreed that it's make it or break it time. We needed to get some real storyline development. We should be getting close to the climax of the season here. And did we get that? No. No. We sure didn't. No. We got another completely fucking fluff episode.
Yeah, with a very weird ending, which we will get to. And of course, guys, you know that when you're listening to us, spoilers are involved, okay? So if you have any desire to watch the show, you probably shouldn't. You should just listen to us and get your laughs and kicks from there. But if you have any desire to watch the show, please watch it before you listen to us, because we're just going to spoil everything. That's what we do here. So we jump into the initial opening of the episode, and it has to do going back to Jen at the wedding with Josh, which is her new found love interest. All right. He managed to get a crack in the door, managed to get some dates. So that's the way this particular episode's opened up, with her going on multiple dates. All right. Throughout this, Corey, the only thing that we've captured from She-Hulk, from Jen, is that she's a hopeless romantic. All right. She's looking for love, and she can't quite find it. How do you feel about her love triangle so far, her love interest, and has that interested you at all?
No, I could care less, and it's been the major theme of the whole show. Yeah. Every episode has been about her coming to grips with herself, finding a love interest. And here's the thing that they just never got. Like, we don't give a fuck about this character, like, at all. There's nothing intriguing about her, nothing we like about her. She is as pathetic in this series as she portrays herself in the show. So that's pretty much where we're at. And I feel really bad for this actress, because she's fucked. Like, who's going to want to hire her after she was She-Hulk, the worst show that's ever written?
Yeah, I mean, getting a gig after this may be very difficult, okay?
Oh, she's going to have to go back to being a hand model or something.
A hand model is pretty good. She might model some watches or something like that. Latex gloves, something similar to that. She may have very soft hands, okay? She's in fact female, so she may be able to pull that off. The dates proceed. They have multiple dates. It looks like they're having a really good time, all right? And so that's really not captivating the audience at all, because we're trying to figure out when we're going to get a big bad in here somewhere. The only big bad we've gotten so far is Titania, who has veneers, okay? So that didn't really capture us. We understand from the last episode that there is intelligentsia. They seem to have some type of plan that is unbeknownst to everybody, maybe even including them. They might not even know what their plan is, okay? Because they don't seem to have done a very good job overall at extracting her blood. They don't seem to have any type of super villains that they can send after her or anything like that. They seem to be going the route of trickery or sly tactics to get her blood, which has really been a downer for this show, because you always need that antagonist that you're looking at to move the show along. And a lot of times the villains may even be more interesting than the actual quote unquote heroes themselves. But Josh, he goes on multiple dates. He tries to get in the door. She wants to take things slow because the last guy that she did on the first night, he immediately left. So she does Josh on, what was it, the third or fourth date? Is it the fourth date?
Yeah, I think the fourth. Yeah, about there.
So fourth date, so let's say about a week's time. Hey, it won't the first day, okay? I'm not that easy, sir. All right? Take me out 4 days this week and then you get some, okay? It's just like, dang, bro. I mean, if you feel him, just let him crack the first night because shortly after him getting some, she gets ghosted, okay? Now, she's feeling real good about herself. She's like, boy, I think I found the love of my life. He went out here. His slay game was right, I'm assuming, or at least decent enough to infatuate her. And she gets ghosted. So what immediately came into your mind after the night that they had sex and then she couldn't get back up with Josh? What was your immediate thoughts when that happened?
Oh, for me, it played out in my mind exactly how it plays out in the show. A split second, she woke up and he was gone. It was obvious what the deal was. It was obvious what was going on. And what we didn't know was the why. Mm-hmm. What was the motivation, right? We knew what happened. Mm-hmm. We knew he was probably in with somebody who was wanting to set her up somehow or involved with, that website that has all the death threats or something. There was some kind of odd something going on. We just didn't know what. But as soon as he was gone that morning, it was obvious. And then when he didn't return the text, it was even more obvious. And so, there was no shocker there. The storyline and the plot and the writing are also predictable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was definitely a sneaking suspicion there. But I ain't gonna lie to you, I almost just rang thin for me. I was just like, oh well, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh well, he's not talking to her anymore. Like you're wanting a twist, you're wanting something to captivate you, but you're almost like, does it even matter? You know what I'm saying? That's what it kind of made me feel like. It's like, okay, somebody else banged her and left. So, I mean, I had back in my mind, I was like, well, maybe he's part of it. But I was just like, well, even if he is, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I mean, it didn't seem much because she didn't leave injured, okay, at any point in time. She hasn't had any punctures on herself, all right? He didn't seem to have taken anything. So you're just like, I guess he was there doing something, but I mean, what did he get? I mean, I don't know. Because, I mean, like he took something out of the house or something like that. So that kind of rang thin from there. So, of course, they moved back from that particular plot line back into her courtroom stuff. Okay, so because it always got to go back to something that deals with the courtroom. So we go back to Emil Blonsky, and the parole officer cannot trace his particular collar for his house arrest, or I'm sorry, his inhibitor for him turning into the Abomination, because he's restricted from turning into Abomination, which I believe from the trailers that we end up seeing him turn into Abomination, I'm assuming in one of these last two episodes. But he asked She-Hulk to accompany him because, you know, he's scared if he's Abomination, that he may have a little bit of issues and he'd rather not die doing that. So that's a smart move by him. But I say it's smart, but then at the end of the day, it's like, has She-Hulk showed any capacity to actually, go to toe to toe with like a true villain? Have we seen that yet? No,
we haven't seen anything even remotely close. All we've seen is her and Titania, but we don't know the extent of Titania's powers.
We really don't. Yeah.
Right. And a couple thugs. That's about it. So she hasn't demonstrated any desire, inclination, or necessarily any talent for being a superhero. And so it really brings us back to, what is the fucking point of this whole goddamn show, right? Like, we have nothing so far. We're in we're 6 or 7 episodes deep in character development, and all we know is this chick is lame and can't get a fucking date to stick around.
Yeah,
we've really derived nothing else from the show at all.
Yeah, that's basically it. We haven't even derived which I hope to God that they're not going to leave us on some type of cliffhanger, which I guess they ain't got much of a choice but to, unless they're going to use this in some other major project. But I can't see. Can you see She-Hulk being on the big screen?
No, not even close. And if they did, they'd probably use a different actress and a different storyline. It would probably be a completely different. It would probably be a completely different overhaul of the story, and it would definitely not involve any of these actors. So
yeah, because I mean, can we envision her fighting any villain that's been in the past? I'm talking about any of them. I'm trying to think of what the weakest one might have been so far. It might have been the weakest one. Probably in my mind would probably be the first Ant-Man villain. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't even know. I don't even know if she could whoop him when he was in his little Bumblebee costume. I mean, I think he'd been too much for her. Okay, from what I'm seeing so far, she's not sure of herself. And she doesn't seem to. We know she's not doing any type of training, okay, to get any type of fighting skill. So we know that's.
I mean, not even any Pilates. Come on, girl.
Yeah, yoga poses or something. Come on, let's get something. I mean, are you even working out? Do you even do squats? You know what I'm saying? That's what we're trying to figure out. But we move from there, and they go to Emil's ranch. All right. And then this is where.
So let me ask you: why does he have a ranch? Was he rich before? Did he make money in prison? Like, what's the deal there?
I think that's supposedly where all his wives had been. Which we didn't see any of his wives there, you know, or his 7 concubines. I'm not sure if they're wives. They're more of his side pieces. But if I'm correct, I believe they had that. They had garnered their money and made that retreat for him. And, of course, he's spiritual now. He's absolutely worthless, actually, Emil Blonsky. They've made Abomination a worthless character as well, which is kind of a travesty. You know what I'm saying? From the last time you've seen Abomination, I'm talking about in the original Hulk movie, to now, it's like...
He was savage back in the day.
Yeah. This dude is neutered. So they make it to the ranch, and this is where the episode truly goes off the rails. But they've got the Matador out there. They've got the Man Bull. I'm just like, man, what am I watching, dude?
I know. It was like fucking watching the island of Dr. Moreau. It was fucking horrible.
Yeah. Dude, it's just like, I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, guys, what are we doing? Okay, what are we doing? What is this? Is this going to get us somewhere? All right, and we think at a little bit later on that, oh dang, well we got a little connection, but the connection don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? So we've got Man Bull and this Matador. I need to find his actual name. They've got some wild names out here, and I might run across it. El Aguila. That's the dude's name. All right,
that rolls right off the tongue.
Yeah. So El Aguila and Man Bull are out here, having a. They're not even having a battle. I guess they just fucking around. I mean, that's what it looks like they're doing. And they trash her car. So that's why she ends up having to stay there at the ranch, because they trashed her car. Okay. So after that, Emil wants her to join their little group. They almost have like a AA meeting. Okay. And that's the whole premise. The whole time she's walking around trying to get a signal, trying to see if Josh is texting her because she's infatuated with him. Now, at this point in time, how many days had it been? 3 days? 4 days, if I'm correct?
Yeah.
Since she got the last text?
3 nights ago, she said.
Yeah, at that point in time, you figured that she would think that something is up. But this is one of the major flaws with the character is that she doesn't believe that at any point in time somebody doesn't want to do harm to her and or steal her blood even after that initial attack. You think she would be on the lookout for that, but her character is absolutely oblivious. What do you think about that point?
Oh yeah, her character is a fucking dummy.
Yeah, you're not even sure how she's a lawyer. Yeah, you're not sure how she's a lawyer.
Not even close. Like, if they're trying to, I thought the whole point of the show was to portray like a strong woman character, and they do anything but. She-Hulk doesn't come off as a strong woman character. And if the idea was that she'd be this, weak person, and then when she becomes She-Hulk, she becomes the strong person, they're not pulling that off either. Not even close.
No.
Right?
No.
Like when she turns to She-Hulk, there should be some music that plays. She shouldn't be showing up in court and at work in the green fucking skin. It's ridiculous. It's fucking ridiculous. It demeans the entire point of the show. Right? Like, why not just make this bitch a superhero like everyone else? It should have been first episode. She goes to court. She does the shit with Chlamydia or whatever her name is, Titania, and and she should have been just disbarred. That's what should have happened. She should have been disbarred, and then fucking Nick Fury with the patch on the eye comes in and says, "Well, you got nothing else to do. You might as well become a superhero." And then the show should have been about her becoming a superhero and getting the tutelage.
Her path to that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, Jesus fucking Christ. Because that's where the show has to go eventually. Right? It has to go there eventually, or else it's just a complete waste of fucking time. So,
and they got the 2 episodes left to do it in, too.
Jesus Christ. Like,
you got 40 minutes left. You know what I'm saying?
Have they started production on season 2, or has this thing been canceled already? Like, this thing needs to get canceled.
But if they're doing a season 2 of this, my God, dude! I mean, it's just like, there's just no reason. All right, you haven't given us anything that's like, boy, we need a season 2 of this because this was great. This is great cinema. You know what I'm saying? we haven't got anything like that yet. So while she's trying to find signals, she ends up stumbling into Emil's sanctuary, where they are having their quote unquote AA meeting. That's what I want to call it. And around him, he has Man Bull, El Aguila, Porcupine, and Sarson. Now, if you want to talk about, I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be like a Saturday Night Live sketch or what. But Porcupine and the black dude Sarson, who thinks he's a vampire, I'm just like,
he was funny. I actually chuckled a couple times when he said shit.
Yeah. I mean that you talk about some of the funnier moments. I mean, with Porcupine, Emil's like, hey, maybe you should take the porcupine suit off and open up. He's like, it's a little bit too early for that. You know what I'm saying? I feel a whole lot better if I keep this suit on. I'm like, dude, you look ridiculous. What is going on? Okay.
Like they want a hit show. They should take the black guy who thinks he's a vampire and Mr. Immortal and put them together on their own 30-minute slot, man.
There you go.
That'd be way better than what the fuck we're getting.
Yeah, we would understand that would be a comedy. Okay. And we would understand what we're getting. Okay, we're not going to get serious storyline. They're just going to do a bunch of funny shit. All right. So I would be fine with that. Okay. I would be fine with that. So they kind of open up. El Aguila has some type of weird sword. I don't know if that's got any reference in the MCU or in the Marvel universe. Somebody with a little bit more knowledge than us on the comic book side probably has some knowledge, but he's got some type of weird sword that like lightning comes out of.
What I got out of that was that he used. I got the feeling that he used some kind of power. Like it wasn't the sword, but he did that because what's his name said you can't use bio powers and inside or something like that. He said made that comment to him, so I kind of got the impression that was one of his powers. So it was like, okay, at least he's got a fucking power, and just a dude in a suit.
Okay. Now, we're not sure if Porcupine has any power. I think he's just a guy in a suit.
Right.
I believe that.
Right. A guy with mental illness.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's got mental illness. Now, this is when we have a revelation. One of the Asgardian plumbers shows back up. And I'm not sure why he shows up here. Wrecker is the guy's name. And, we're like, oh, what are we about to see now? and we don't see anything. He's just like, oh yeah, I feel really bad about doing that, and I'm just here trying to reform. And I'm just like, well, are you going to tell us who hired you? Are you going to tell her? We got nothing of that. He's just
it was pointless, and it was almost a mockery of like the storyline they started with him. It made no sense, really. The whole thing was, at this point, like, I'm just expecting like fucking clowns and midgets on the next show. Like, there's just nothing. There's nothing left here, really. Like, there's no integrity. There's no dignity. The show is just the worst thing that's ever been made in the history of fucking entertainment.
Man said, just wrap this thing up with some clowns and midgets and let's go home, okay? You just need to take it all the way out in the left field with mockery, just as far as you can get it, okay? Get some more characters like Sarson and Porcupine and Mr. Immortal, just throw them in there and just have them do random stuff and just be like, yep, that's it for season 1, and that's it for She-Hulk character in the MCU altogether, because we have screwed this up royally, okay? There just ain't no recovery.
Well, then on top of just ruining a show, they ruined a character. Because no one's ever going to give a fuck about She-Hulk ever again.
No, it's going to be very hard. It's going to be very hard. So they go around the round table. Okay, they do a little round table discussion. Speaking to Jen about Josh, trying to make her feel better, and then at the end, she finally says, I've let go. Okay, I've let go of this pain. All right, and that's neither here nor there. We have a couple moments that doesn't really mean anything. But from there, after she leaves, it goes back to 3 days earlier. Okay. And this right here is a weird part of the episode, because I'm just like, okay. So you see Josh, all right, after he has performed the deed. Okay. He slayed the dragon. All right. And he gets out of bed. He's making a copy of her phone, which have we had any indication that she's got something top secret on her phone?
No, it's all nonsensical girl talk bullshit.
Yeah, it's just like, she's got a matcher, and she's probably talking to Nikki about, who she's dating. That's I don't see how there would be anything else on her phone. Okay. So he makes a copy of her phone. And then he gets up and he texts somebody and says, plan succeeded, Operation Hulk King, I've got it. And I'm just like, hold on a second. You got what? All right. The last episode, we see Intelligentsia. We see them load this big epidural needle into the syringe, okay? We see them loaded up into the canister, all right? Jen at no point in time was stabbed with the needle, okay? So if you got her blood, my question is she on her period? That was my question right there at that moment, because it was just very weird. Corey, let me know.
That brings up a whole slew of questions, okay? Unfortunately, that question fucking just spilt the can of worms, because now we got to wonder how Bruce would protect his blood. Like, it was like nobody was getting at his blood, like, no matter what, because he knew it was toxic. And so it was like totally like hands off, right? So basically, what does she do with her fucking tampons? She can't just throw them away, right? She can't. So does she have some sort of fucking Avengers approved tampon disposal system? She would need it, right? It'd have to be super top secret. Maybe some kind of super duper gamma incinerator. Like, how is she ditching her tampons? Come on, Marvel. We need a fucking answer to the real questions.
Dude, you want to talk about a weird ending to an episode? I'm just like,
it was poorly written, poorly thought out, and it didn't give the pop that they were expecting.
No, there was no pop, because I'm just like, okay, Jen hasn't been injured anyway, because if he stabbed her with the needle, that big needle they had to get her blood, oh, she would have known it. Okay. I mean, it wasn't no small needle they loaded up in that suitcase. So if he'd have plunged that into her, oh yeah, she'd have definitely known. But at no point in time do you say, "Oh wow, I got this weird puncture on me. I wonder what that's from." Nothing. It's just at the end, it's like, "Yeah, I got it." You got what? Some pussy? I mean, I'm just. Is this how we make the Hulk King? So, smashing the She-Hulk. I mean, what did you get?
He got no information. Like, he got no information from her. There's no information to get from her. She's a fucking ditz. Like, she knows nothing. She's dumb. She probably couldn't even spell gamma. It's just fucking ridiculous. If like, we've talked about this before. In the classics, they had like man versus man, man versus environment, man versus self. These are the themes, the classic literature themes. They're supposed to carry through everything that we watch, every TV show. And so you have like the storyline development, and then you have the conflict, and then you have to have the conflict resolution, right? Like they're trying to give us conflict resolution without having demonstrated the conflict first, right? We're supposed to be like, ooh, to stealing the stuff, but there's nothing important enough worth stealing. And so it's just a failure of the writers to properly develop this shit earlier in the show. Really.
Yeah, so it's like there's just no cohesion. You're not sure. I don't even know who we haven't seen a glimpse of the big bad. You know what I'm saying? This
I don't even know who the fuck it is.
Company. This Telling company. Idea. It's just like well, who is it? You know what I'm saying? It's because there's always got to be somebody over it. You know what I'm saying? And so you hadn't seen somebody talking or anything. You know, so even if you hadn't seen their face, you've seen somebody talking to maybe Josh about it. You know what I'm saying, or something like that.
So my gut instinct is telling me that we're going to have another Daredevil lead-in this show, and that this bad guy is connected to Daredevil in some way, and they're going to have like a dual lawyer fucking fight out. But Daredevil coming off as a serious character and her coming off as a total fucking joke is just going to ruin the Daredevil character. You know?
Yeah. Having him associated with this particular season, this particular show, it's probably not the best introduction for him into the MCU. To be completely honest, but I mean, I guess that's what's got to happen. Because we have seen him, unless that's just something that they were showing in the trailers and they didn't actually put in the show, which they do that sometimes. To show you a scene in the trailer that's not actually in the movie. So that does happen occasionally. So that's the way it ends. It ends on a cliffhanger. There's supposedly Josh got the blood. We're not sure how. We're not sure from where. The only thing that I can think is, period blood. And that just sounds really gross. But that's the only thing I can think of. Seeing how there's no marks on her anywhere, and he didn't come in there with a canister or anything with the needle on it. So that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, Marvel, Feige, y'all didn't think this one through, okay? Y'all didn't think this one through at all. I mean, I mean, when it comes to writing, man, just some. Look, I'm not saying that I got all the answers, but I know this ain't the answer, okay?
Well, it's they got some affirmative action gay Indian homeless kid to write this episode, so that's why it's so fucking bad.
Oh man, okay, so that wraps that up. Corey, out of 10 cubes, man, just give us
this
the
one's
raw.
It's a 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. I say 2. So we 2.5 overall.
Yeah. Well, I was just thinking as I'm watching it, you said 2 weeks ago it was the worst episode ever. Then last week you're like, it's the worst episode ever. And then I'm watching it and I'm going, holy shit, this is the worst episode ever. I give it a 50-50 shot that next week they don't even address the cliffhanger.
It's just on a tangent. No, what it's going to be? It's going to be her getting her suit because we haven't seen the suit yet. That's what I predict. That show's going to be her getting her suit and her trying it on. That'll be the majority of it.
She got the suit already. but she's
Yeah,
not
but
wearing
she ain't put it on. She ain't put
Right,
it on.
right.
She put that ugly dress on. I'm just like, they go to the wedding. I was like, oh man, I got me a cute dress. I'm like, but that dress is busted. Somebody should have let that girl. That dress is busted. Okay, it does nothing for your features. All right, if you're not going to She-Hulk, it does nothing for your features. I mean, you ain't looking flattering at all, and you should have known when that Josh dude came up to you, to looking the way you were. Drunk and all. Oh yeah, man, you should have known. But obviously, hey, at this point in time, anybody who shows her interest, she's gonna let them get some. Okay, that's just all. just show interest, dog. All right, act like you like her, and you can slay out. You, sir, can have sex with She-Hulk today. All right. Now, IMDb rated at 5.4 out of 10, which is ridiculous. But the overall rating of the show has actually, on IMDb, has dipped below 5. It's 4.9 out of 10.
Okay.
Guys,
isn't it like 87% on like Rotten Tomatoes?
Yeah, it's like something stupid, man. So Rotten Tomatoes, man, sometimes you can't. I think the audience score is like a 39% though, with the audience score. So that's right around what it should be. Has there been moments that's been funny? Mr. Immortal was funny. All right, the vampire and Porcupine. They had some good chuckle moments. I guess the Man Bull and El Aguilar. But other than that, She-Hulk character, Emil Blotsky, he's been a waste. Okay, they threw Wong. What's Wong doing? Is Wong still with his whore?
I was just thinking that a minute ago. That's the only thing this episode missed was like a fucking Wong coming through a portal at some point in the show.
Yeah, with his hooker. You know what I'm saying? With his woo girl. Yeah, drunk woo girl. That's what she reminds me of. Girl at the club, drunk woo girl. So that's the only thing it was missing. All right. If it had that in it, then this episode would have been complete. And are they gonna have to bring Juan back? Is Juan going to have to come in? Are they gonna have a mess up in the final episode with everybody?
It's possible.
Maybe.
Okay. Maybe. We'll probably see the Hulk one more time.
We might. So I guess we'll have to, because somebody's going to have to fight. I mean, it ain't going to be She-Hulk. Somebody's going to have to fight. So, I mean, shit, we better get somebody who's fought before. Which I've said this, man. The Hulk character, Marvel is completely lost on what to do with it. But they just thrown the towel in. They've made Hulk, Smart Hulk. He acts like he don't want to fight no more. He's just, I'm just like, dude. I mean, let's revert back, okay? Let's revert back. I like the Hulk better when he was in Ragnarok, because he was cognitive for what he was doing, but he was still the Hulk. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. I liked it better like that.
That was good. That was a good movie. Well, parts of it were good.
Yeah.
Unlike the newest Thor, which was the worst. But I didn't even finish the fucking thing. I turned it off like an hour into it.
You got to finish it out. Come on, Corey. Come on, man. For science. You know what I'm saying? For science. So that's going to wrap up this week. Any predictions, Corey? That can we really say there's a prediction?
No, I tried making a prediction last time that we'd get some fucking story development in this fucking episode, and I was obviously wrong. So obviously I'm the one that doesn't know shit about what he's talking about. So no predictions, except the next 2 episodes are going to suck. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Yeah,
the next episode might be the worst one yet. It might be the worst one yet. So yeah, that wraps up the She-Hulk episode 7. Hope y'all guys enjoyed this rendition of Showtime with the Cube from your boy HQ420, my co-host Corey Hughes. We will catch y'all on the next Showtime. Peace out.